I'm John Kovach. I've been a newsman, a sports announcer, and a football coach, but the one constant, since I was old enough to stand next to a stream with my dad, has been fishing. I've waded rapids, stood on slick rocks, hacked through ice, and been tossed about the deck of a boat. And I want you to love fishing as much as I do, and join me on this journey. Welcome to Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop. Welcome to Yankee Fisherman. John Kovach with you. We're watching a very exciting moment here in Darien, where a project decades in the making is being tested. This is the Roten River Fishway. We're right in the shadow of I-95. We're near the Cove in Stamford, and they're testing the fishway that will now allow anonymous fish, those that live part of their lives in salt water, reproduce in fresh, to make their way through this culvert under I-95, reproduce, and then make it back to the Long Island Sound. It's a big moment for this fishery. It's a big moment for the Long Island Sound, and we're here with Save the Sound to see the first test of this fish ladder.
It's a series of boulders that are in a U shape, and so each of those form a pool and a weir, just like in a natural river that fish will swim up. So they have a spot to, sort of gives them steps to get up into that weir. It's a total of about two. And then once they get in there, there's baffles to slow down the water and for them to sort of rescue.
So they're working their way up step by step. It's a gradual increase.
Right, and so that gradual increase allows them to both, it slows down the velocity and increases the depth of the water, and there's those incremental sort of barriers over the series of the culvert. But they're going to pull the bags, the sandbags that are up at the top, and up at the top of the culvert. This culvert's like 200 feet long, and when they do that, the water's going to come over here instead, and that's going to be a pretty cool thing to see.
So what obstacles do they face when they go into the culverts that are not equipped with the fishway like this one that's just been redone?
There's about a 4-foot difference in elevation from the outlet of the culvert to the inlet of the culvert, and so the water is very, very shallow inside those two culverts. And so there's a drop on the downstream side, so like a 2-foot drop that these little fish, alewives and blueback herring, they can't jump up that 2 foot. And even if they were able to, the water is so shallow and the velocity is so strong coming through that culvert that they wouldn't be able to make it up to the top.
So far we've done 4 dam removals. We're working on a 5th one right now. I've done a series of fishways ranging from like a fishway that diverts around a barrier to something that's working going through a barrier. And so it dramatically varies, and that's one of the fun things, is figuring out, working with a design engineer to figure out what would work best for this site and what kind of different techniques can we employ. And so this one's really exciting in that this particular design has never really been done in Connecticut, let alone in the U.S., using these specific types of baffles.
Oh, so this is new to the U.S.
So this is new. It was actually partially designed by an Australian engineer, and something that they use a lot in Australia. And so it was a interesting and exciting design process to figure out, all right, how can we take a design that's been used and tested and proven in one location and kind of work with it to match conditions here and what would be best served on this site. So we'll be really excited today to test it and see.
And the hope is obviously to use this other places in Connecticut?
Absolutely. Yeah, and so across Connecticut and across the Northeast also, there's a lot of culverts where they're perched, and so it's currently at a road crossing that's preventing fish from being able to migrate to upstream habitat. And so working with kind of coming up with designs that can reduce the gap between a culvert lip and the water so that fish can get through is a huge piece. And there's over 4,000 dams, and that doesn't even not necessarily include culvert crossings and road barriers to fish.
This involved forming the rocks along the near side of the river here and installing the baffles in the culvert, all to slow the current and give the fish a way up.
Yeah, so the rock ramp leading up to the culvert really concentrates the flow and creates the ideal flow conditions for fish. And so as they're migrating upstream now, they'll get to this point and they'll see the kind of sense that this is the location that has the ideal flow, and that's attractive to the fish to go up. And so that rock ramp provides really good like pools and riffles that allow them to have periods of rest, but also provides flow conditions that are attractive to fish and will encourage them to continue upstream.
So they're choosing the path of least resistance.
Exactly. So they're finding this path as opposed to the remaining area on the other two culvert bays will be more attractive to the fish going upstream. And that will then continue once they're in the culvert. The baffles will continue to provide ideal attractive flow for the fish, and also the baffles provide an area for the fish to rest as they're going upstream. Instead of what exists right now is this streamlined culvert structure where it's not accessible for fish and it doesn't provide flow conditions that are really able for fish to go up.
So we're going from the cove upstream into the Norotan River. Where from here?
So upstream of this, there's a Darien Land Trust property called Olson Woods, which is really great spawning habitat for fish. And so it's a low flow, boggy area. And so for river herring in particular, as they're swimming upstream, that's that ideal habitat, and that's what they are trying to get upstream to. And so as you get through the culvert, the fish can now access that habitat, and that's really ideal for them to spawn and then come downstream and go back out to Long Island Sound.
I talked to high-ranking DEEP official the other night who remembered working on this project about 30 years ago, discussions of this project. Now we're here in 2018, it's finally happening. How long has the work on the site been physically going on?
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, certainly. I think there's people at the state level, federal level, local level that I'm like, what do you mean? It's actually happening. And it's there's a lot of invested interest in making this happen and finally getting it on the ground. And so Shumack Construction Corporation, which is our contractor on site that's installing the fishway, has been working out here since about early February. And so they've been, it's about 2 months, or a month and a half. And so they've been working really hard on getting this installed in time for the spring fish run. And so they're working diligently. They have been fantastic in terms of moving and really thinking this project through, and have done several fishways across Connecticut, and are really familiar with this kind of work. And so it's been a great collaboration, but also making sure that we can get this in and watch the fish run upstream this spring, which is really exciting.
Obviously, this kind of has to be off limits to people who might be trying to harvest fish from the fishway, correct?
Yeah, and so this right now, it's something that the people I know and excited about the project, and there's a lot of access for like fishing downstream, but after the project's complete, the access road itself won't remain, and so it has a bit of a protection to it, but it's also something that people are really excited about, and as a fishing ground, and as people are downstream, there's an area to really see and kind of watch the fish migration a bit more.
So right now we're adjusting the rocks in the channel to change the flow a little bit,
yeah.
Make it more inviting, easier for the fish to pass through?
Exactly, so easier for the fish to pass through. They're adjusting the height at which kind of the backwater effect to create a little bit more of a pool system for the fish. And so the rocks, depending on where they're placed, it will create both a different channel for the water to pass through, but also a backwater to allow a little bit more of an ideal pool condition for the fish to rest in.
So kind of the same system as creating locks in a canal for a boat, places where the water's going to gradually work up and they'll have a place to stop.
Exactly, yeah, so it creates these little resting places, and also kind of the way the flow then changes, that it allows it's a better flow and more attractive for them to both swim up, and then also creates resting places along the way.
And once this is done, there's going to be an open house on April 21st, which is the biennial World Fish Migration Day.
Exactly. So World Fish Migration Day has events both all around Connecticut and all around the world celebrating fish passage. And so we'll have an open house here at the Norotan Fishway for folks to come see and explore and see the great work of a completed project at that point. So we'll be hosting that, and there'll also be events all across Connecticut at different fish passage projects.
I want to thank Anna and Gwen for welcoming us out there on the Norotan Fishway. Fun day out there. Anytime you can watch them use heavy equipment like that, it's a good day. So they will be having an open house for World Fish Migration Day that is held every 2 years, and that is going to be on Saturday, April 21st. So the Norotan Fishway is behind the Boatyard. It's a restaurant. It's right at the Darien Stamford line. The actual address is 1308 East Main Street in Stamford. You can park right there. Another Fishway open house with CFE Save the Sound is going to be at the Pequannock River Fest. That is going to be at Beardsley Zoo, 1875 Noble Avenue in Bridgeport. And that's a full day of activities with Connecticut's Beardsley Zoo, CFE Save the Sound involved, and Nutmeg Chapter of Trout Unlimited. There will be tree plantings from 8 to 10:30 a.m., a Pequannock River cleanup from 9 to 10:30 a.m. that will start at Beardsley Park and work north along the Pequannock River. There will be small group tours of the fish ladder, and there will be time slots for that you can sign up for at Pequannock River Fest. There will be a nature walk of the river from 10:30 to 11. The people from Connecticut's Beardsley Zoo will have a birds of prey encounter for those there. That will be 11 to 11:15 a.m. From 11:15 to noon, if you want to learn fly casting, volunteers from Nutmeg Trout Unlimited will be there and will be demonstrating fly casting. Or you might want to go straight to fishing if you're an expert, or if you've never cast before, there'll be some traditional rods there. There'll be a backyard bass thing where you're going to cast to a target that's on the lawn there. So there's plenty for everybody, and then there's fishing from noon to 1. That's all on Saturday, April 21st. You also have the Housatonic River cleanup. That is going to be the 21st. That carrying really from the Derby Dam down to lower end of the Housatonic. We'll have more on that. And there are a number of events on that Earth Day weekend, the 21st and 22nd. CFE Save the Sound is going to have a tree planting at Stratford Point. That's 1207 Prospect Drive in Stratford, and that is from 11 to 4 on Sunday the 22nd. You'll have Bill Lucy, the new soundkeeper, Stratford State Representative Joe Gresco, and the biology department at Sacred Heart University. They'll be planting marsh grass, that is tough to say, to help restore the shoreline there at Stratford Point. Candlewood Valley TU is having a stream cleanup on Sunday the 22nd from 9 to noon. That is along the Putatuck River in Sandy Hook, that section of Newtown. Meet by PJ's Laundromat, which is 110 Churchill Road in Sandy Hook. They'll spread out from there. Volunteers for any of these cleanups should wear sturdy boots, long pants, long sleeves, bring gloves. There'll be trash bags. And then there will be a nature walk led by Candlewood Valley TU President Kit Nielsen and Trout Unlimited National Volunteer Director Jeff Yates. And they'll take you along the Putatuck River and Deep Brook. And we were there last year when they were doing a study of that. So it's an interesting little fishery. That walk and talk, which is open to the public, is from 1 to 2 on Sunday the 22nd. Parking for that's at the Newtown Dog Park, 21 Old Farm Road. We'll be back with more Yankee Fisherman presented by the Dock Shop right after this. Well, there's still a bite out on the water. Most anglers have decided to stow the gear for the winter. Just because Mother Nature isn't cooperating doesn't mean you can't see the latest models of all your favorite gear. With 2 convenient locations, it couldn't be easier to get your fix of summer. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
At Pamby Motors, we're not worried about being the biggest dealership. We're focused on being the best. We're dedicated to giving you the best experience we can. The Pamby Motors team is here to help you choose the right Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram in a friendly, pressure-free environment. And right now, during Ram Truck Month, get up to $14,000 off on all in-stock 2017 Ram 1500 pickups. Come in and see us for details. Visit Pamby Motors, Route 7 in Ridgefield, PambyZone.com.
UK Gourmet is the largest specialty grocer in the area, featuring food from England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. over 80 teas to choose from, and a brilliant assortment of biscuits to go with them. Over 70 cheeses from grass-fed cows, which makes a smashing difference in taste. The creamiest chocolate you'll ever taste using no artificial colors or preservatives. So say hooray for UK Gourmet, 78 Stony Hill Road in Bethel, or visit ukgourmet.us.
Had a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Orthopedics Walk-In Urgent Care gives you direct access to orthopedic specialists fast without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Orthopedics Walk-In Urgent Care can help. Open 7 days a week now at 3 locations. The iPark Building at 761 Main Avenue, Norwalk, 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien, or in the Westport Medical Center at 323 Riverside Avenue, Westport. Go to myorthoct.com, like them on Facebook.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fish!
Welcome back to Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop. We're at Gould Manor Park in Fairfield, the annual Fairfield PAL Children's Trout Derby being held. They've been doing it for more than 50 years. A chance for the police and families and kids to get together, the kids to learn fishing, have a good time. So how many kids do we think we have here today?
Well over 120. The kids come in to register. They pretty much know the rules, and they fish for 2 hours from 9 to 11. They at the end we total up the scores and hand out prizes, and then have a raffle at the end.
How many do you stock before?
We stock 361.
So there's 361 trout in here. Last year more carp were caught than trout in the rain.
It seemed like it. Yeah.
And then this is an age-restricted pond. Even after this, it's only kids can fish this, correct?
Anyone under 15, I'm sorry, anyone under 16 can fish here.
What does this do for the relationship between the PAL and the kids?
Well, it's good. We get us out. The police, we like to interact with the community. It shows that we're people too. The kids love it and they enjoy it, and we get to talk and converse with them and help them out fishing, and it's a really good time for them.
You got a lot of kids learning fishing for the first time out here.
Definitely, their parents are out helping, and it takes some time. We have to make sure no one gets hooked. But once they practice, they'll get better at casting. I told you I put them in. All right. Come on up there. I told you I put him in. Woohoo! Hey, we got one in there.
Let's get a shot. Where is he? Oh, nice. Very nice. Who caught him? You? First trout? Get him back. That's getting him. It's one of several derbies coming up. We have the 50th Milford Trout Derby. That's coming up on May 5th, as is the Catch and Release Derby in Stratford. And then Monroe has its big derby in Wolf Park. That's coming up on May 19th. So these are great opportunities to get out with the kids and teach them fishing and get them exposed to the sport. And it's an important event for the Fairfield PAL. We'll be back with more Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop, right after this. While there's still a bite out on the water, most anglers have decided to stow the gear for the winter. Just because Mother Nature isn't cooperating doesn't mean you can't see the latest models of all your favorite gear. With 2 convenient locations, it couldn't be easier to get your fix of summer. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Now teeing off, Paul Miller from Miller Nissan in Fairfield.
Excuse me, Mr. Miller. What about my new Sentra?
Right now, lease a 2017 Sentra S for only $97 a month.
He is never going to retire. At Galt, we always put you first. As your full-service home heating partner, we provide expert delivery, installation, and maintenance for all your heating needs with knowledgeable, friendly professionals that give you peace of mind 24/7. Galt Family Companies, you first since 1863.
At Rings End, we say it's time to re-love your home. Time to refresh and reinvigorate the way you live. And whether you're redoing something big or small, remember the letters RE stand for Rings End. We're the new model in home remodeling.
Welcome back to Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop. Great time down with the Fairfield PAL at their fishing derby on Saturday. Always fun to go down and see those kids. I'm going to try to swing by some of the others. Really excited that it's the 50th coming up in Milford in May. Saturday's it. It's opening day for trout season in Connecticut. Now the TMAs have been open all along, but now you can go anywhere as of Saturday. Remember, you need a license. Remember, you need the $5 trout and salmon stamp. And please remember that all that money is going to support hunting and fishing activities. Yes, it's an extra $5, but if it protects the hatcheries, if it keeps this going, I'll spend the $5 and not get 2 coffees that week. The DEEP is looking for kids on opening day to help stock trout in the trout parks as they open. The closest one to us here in southwestern Connecticut is Great Hollow Pond in Wolf Park, Monroe. They're scheduled to be there around 10. Kids should have their parents wear boots, which they're going to need, and are going to help carry the fish from the trucks to the water. Fun time there. We plan to head up to Riverton for some stocking on Friday night, and then the traditional children's trout derby on Saturday. And that stretch of the Farmington, a little less than 1.5 miles, that's reopening on Saturday after that brief closure to try to add a little bit more excitement around opening day. Candlewood Valley's got an interesting idea. Candlewood Valley TU is going to have Fishmas Eve on Friday. That'll be at the Meeting House Pub, 37 Stony Hill Road in Bethel. Fun night among friends. They'll tie flies, talk. It's just a fun, get together that they haven't done before. That more information at cvtu.org. That's for the Fishmas Eve, the Friday night event. On Saturday, Mianus TU is going to make a big deal out of it, and they are going to have a free streamside breakfast of pancakes, eggs, bacon, toast, coffee, and juice. That's going to be at Merwin Meadows Park in Wilton to celebrate opening day. The free breakfast will be served from 9 to 11 a.m. That'll be at the Pavilion at Merwin Meadows, which is right off of Lover's Lane in Wilton. It's free. You need not be a TU member. Donations are appreciated, but what would really be appreciated, RSVP at mianistu.org, so they have a head count and know how much food to buy for that opening day breakfast on the Norwalk River in Merwin Meadows in Wilton. On Tuesday, April 17th, Nutmeg TU will host Jeff Yale, who last year about this time was on Yankee Fisherman. He's going to talk like he did on the show about fishing Lake Saltonstall. This is open to everybody. You need not be a TU member. You need not be a fly fisherman. And you're going to learn about a very cool fishery that's really accessible, that not a lot of people have the opportunity to get into. That talk is at 7 o'clock on Tuesday the 17th, and that is at Port 5, 69 Brewster Street in Bridgeport. That same night, Tuesday, Thames Valley TU is going to host DEEP Inland Fisheries biologist Neil Hagstrom. He'll talk about this year's stocking program and the regulation changes. That'll start with the 3rd chapter of Fly Fishing Yellowstone Hatches, and that'll be from 6 to 6:55, and you can get more information at the Thames Valley TU website. Ron Murley, author of the Fly Fisher's Guide to Connecticut, is going to speak to the Farmington Valley TU chapter. That is on Thursday, April 19th from 6:30 to 9. That's at the Back 9 Tavern at the Stanley Golf Course, 245 Hartford Avenue in New Britain. You can find more information at fvtu.org. That's fvtu.org. An event we went to last year and hope to get back to this year. Last year's was the first of its kind in North America, the Northeast Carp Conference. That is going to be held on Saturday, April 21st at the Elks Club in Middletown. It runs from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. There are a ton of vendors. There are speakers about carp fishing, raffle prizes, clinics on rigging and baiting, advice for newcomers. Really something for everyone. It's if you're interested in getting into this, and it's huge around the world and just starting to come into its own in the United States, this is a great place to start out. Tickets are available, and they'd like you to purchase them in advance. They are $5 for Carp Anglers Group members, $10 for non-members. You can get them online at carpanglersgroup.com. Those under 16 are admitted free when accompanied by an adult with a ticket. The Sea Run Brook Trout Coalition is going to hold a tree planting along an area of Anguilla Brook. That's up in Stonington, and that is going to be on Saturday, April 28th at 11 a.m. Rain date is April 29th, and if it's really bad, they'll bump it for a week. This is one of the few places that they see as a place where the Sea Run Brook trout can reestablish. And the DEEP and landowners removed a dam a few years back, revealed a beautiful stream bed. Now they need some thermal protection, and about 100 plants and trees will be planted. So as many volunteers as can turn out, bring shovels, pickaxes, bars, anything else you might need planting trees, obviously insect repellent, sunscreen, we hope, wear long pants. I plan to be up there for that. I was up there when we put some temperature gauges in there. I really want to see where this Sea Run Brook Trout project goes and see that species reestablish itself here in Connecticut and the Northeast. Nutmeg TU still has spots open on its May 23rd trip to the Limestone Club. You can find information at nutmegtrout.org, but it's a chance to get into a private club that's got big fish and really have a fun day. Again, nutmegtrout.org for that May 23rd trip to the Limestone Club. And looking at the saltwater, registration's now open for the 3rd annual Big Doug's Memorial Saltwater Shootout. That's July 14th and 15th out of Oak Leaf Marina in Old Saybrook. Captain's meetings Friday the 13th. This is a benefit for Shoreline Soup Kitchens and Pantries. I plan to be up there both days. Really a fun event if you can. It's a benefit. It's a catch and release saltwater tournament, and it's a heck of a lot of fun. And a little closer to us in Shelton and a little closer to us in the calendar, but Mike at Fisherman's Paradise is going to be hosting the Hook 'em on the Hoosey tournament. That's a kayak and boat tournament that'll stretch from the mouth of the Hoosey to the Derby Dam. That is going to be May 4th through 6th, and there's information on that at brdfishing.org. It's opening weekend finally. It's supposed to be 70 degrees finally. Let's hope we can finally get out and do some real hardcore fishing. Get out, have fun on opening day, be careful, and tight lines.